All right, I'm gonna give you all the, the easy, no BS install of the Ilium Works engine guards for a 2022 BMW R1250RT. So as you can see, I already got the back ones on. I went to put the front ones on last week, and this little spacer that goes down here was missing, so I had to wait a few days. So yeah, I watched their video, and it was pretty accurate. If you watch the company's video for the rear, I mean, of course, you remove your bags. There is a torque screw back up in there. You'll see it. Can't miss it when you take your bags off. Take that off. Get you some painter's tape and put around here and tuck this in. Undo this bolt here. Yeah, and then you put the main little mounting piece with these X-head bolts. Slide that in there, kind of get it in there, work it in with your socket. And kids going by. Work in with your socket, get it all tightened up, torque it, follow the instructions, and then slide these parts on this bar here. Put those on, torque it. I don't know the value, but it's on the instructions. When I did it, I had already pulled the tire off because I got a gash in my tire. So I had to change the tire, so I already had the exhaust off and everything. It made it easy. So for the front bars, take this screw, and this screw out. And then for the front piece, there are two screws, one here, same thing on the other side. Take those two out, and then in the front, like the guy in the video shows you, kind of keep your hand here because they have two plastic tabs, right? So just take it, keep one hand up here, kind of pull it a little bit, and you'll feel it kind of pop out of those two rubber grommets. And then up here, there is, I know on his instructions, he says, okay, just pull it out and then kind of wiggle it and slide up and pop it out. But on this, right here, up here, under here, they have some like heavy duty type Velcro. You have to kind of work that loose a little bit. I think there's a rubber grommet up here too. So you have like one here, one or two here, one here, and then you got that Velcro here. And then it kind of snaps right out. But when you put it back on, one thing I noticed is that when you first slide these two tabs back in, there's like a little lip in the plastic underneath here that you have to make sure that this piece rests on. So you have to make sure that this piece here is resting on that little lip. If not, it'll all go on, but then this piece will be kind of loose and kind of bouncy and not fit properly. So just check that. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory if you follow the guy's instructions, which are pretty good. You undo. Once you got all this plastic trim off, you can see where these light mounts are. You just undo that. Or you take the light off first, and then take this apart, unsnap that, cut the zip ties, and then you can pull these brackets off. Also forgot, raise your seat a little bit. You're gonna have to remove this screw on each side also. This screw is longer than all the rest for this first section, you took off, so don't mix this up. Set it to the side. So after you get the cover piece off, you get the two screw holes, rubber grommet there, rubber grommet there, there's a piece of Velcro on the body panel itself. And this is the ledge that your plastic dash piece has to rest on. If it doesn't rest on this, it'll kind of just, it'll feel loose and bounce up and down. So it has to sit on here when you put the plastic cover back on. So after you get that off, then you take off, I think it's this one, this one, this one, and this one. And then this piece will come off because you already took off this screw earlier. All right, so now we're on the left side of the bike. If you're sitting on it, I took that panel off. It was the screw you originally took off there. This one, there was one here, and there one right here, and then I think there was one more that holds this little plastic vent piece in. Now you gotta cut the zip ties here, here, do that on both sides. I think this is like a T30. Take this off, little screwdriver, undo your lights, set them to the side. Once you take your light off, I just put the hardware back in the same spot. Now for the plug, I don't know if you see this, it's nighttime right there. So there's the plug. These are little tabs that hold the switch in. Don't break them. Take it easy. And just kind of pry them just a little bit with a small screwdriver. And you just kind of just pry it out a little bit and it pops right out. Don't try to kill the shit. Once you get your light unhooked, right here, there's a T40. It's not super tight. I got it out with this. And it came out. Set that to the side because you'll remount this later. And before you take your lights off, I mean, if they're pretty level, I took a Sharpie. I know you can't see it, but I just took a Sharpie and I kind of made a line across the mount in my light to where I can line them back up so they match. All right, so you put the first bar on here, slide that round bushing piece into there, use the screw and the nut and washers here, just loosely fit this in place like the company's video. Down here, it's gonna mount into the engine. I know it's hard to see, but it's getting dark and whatever. So I have that spacer that goes down there, and then this bolt here, and some blue Loctite. So, all right, once you get the, just go ahead and finger tighten that one in, man. You know. Oh, you're welcome. Sorry about that. Yeah, just gotta kind of finger wiggle that one in. It's loose, you know. Of course, don't cross thread this shit into the engine. You know, damn aluminum engine or whatever, man. You don't want to jack it up. So just take your time. You know, wiggle a bar. Get in with your finger, man. You know, you turn it. Keep everything kind of loose, like the man in the video tells you how to do. And as you notice right here, this bracket right here, this is where you're going to mount later on. You're going to mount your, if you have auxiliary lights, you're going to mount them right to this. So I think before maybe a previous design, you had to buy some kind of adapter or mount and everything, but just, you know, I'm trying to speed this up a little bit, man. I don't want to be out here forever. But yeah, see this right here? So this is my auxiliary mount, light mount. That shit is going to clip right in there. You're going to use your original factory hardware, and your auxiliary light's going to mount right back in place. And that's how it's going to work. So anywho, let me get to the, I think the instructions call for you to put this piece on, keep it loose, and basically we're going to repeat the same thing we did over here, over there. And then eventually we're going to snug everything up, torque it, and then basically put your lights back on, put all your pieces back on the opposite way. I mean, if you got any questions, you can ask me, but I mean, the guy's video is pretty self-explanatory, but I just wanted to mostly make people aware of that. Hey, there is some Velcro here, you know, so just take your time. Like I said, on the other side there might have been that extra rubber grommet or something, and to just make sure that side piece, that panel, you got those 2 tabs that sit in this lip, because if not, you're gonna be pushing your buttons and the whole dash is gonna be like, it's gonna feel loose feeling and stuff like this, you know. You ain't gonna have any support behind it, so make sure those tabs are lined up. And that's it, man. I'm gonna go ahead and button this shit up and stop filming so I can get the hell back inside. But if anybody has any questions, the quality's good. It was either this one or the Wunderlich bars were my 2 choices. I think, yeah, maybe that Wunderlich looks kind of, you know, sportier, kind of comes around and whatever and kind of cradles it. But I think I read on I know for the 2022, I believe it was, I'm sure maybe the other models, I'm not too sure. It said you had to loosen the bar to like change your oil filter, which is down here. And I didn't want to have to do that crap all the time. I didn't want to have to mess with this. And then what really sold me is when the guy on his videos, you know, he puts these bars and dude just drops his freaking RT in the freaking parking lot, you know, and just either no damage at all or a little scuff to a mirror, you know. So I mean, once the guy's throwing his bike on the ground and it's not damaging anything, shit, I mean, you know, he won me over with that. And this is a triple black model, so I mean, there's a lot of black. The bike's black, you know, everything's dark. So for me, the bars, they blend in, you know. The back bars, I mean, they blend in. It all blends in with the bike. So anyway, got any questions, let me know. I know it's a quick video and it's really not high quality and not scripted or nothing. I just want to give people a heads up. Later. Well, this is the finished install of the front bar. I might have to adjust the light a little bit, but I'll worry about that later. But everything went in good. Looks good. So basically, just, you know, start snugging the bottom ones. These bolts, snug these bolts. Back there, snug everything up. Then you go around, torque everything. I think you torque the bottom ones first, it says, and then you torque the top one. These don't require, I think it's like, they have a torque value. I think it's like 7 pounds on the instructions. Then once you torque all those, I went ahead and mounted these back, snugged everything, tightened it up. Same over here. The rubber bushing that goes into the frame back there for the mount, you tighten it on this side. There's no torque specification, just tighten it. Follow the instructions, but I think everything came out pretty decent. Looks good. Goes with the bike. So, anyway, if you got any questions, let me know. Later.